I think it's fair to say that Andrew Cuomo is fighting for his political life. Voters are heading to the polls today for New York's crucial mayoral election, and Cuomo's in there. Pro-Israel activist and TikTok influencer Zach Sage Fox joins me now. You've been working on Cuomo's social media campaign.
Yes, sir.
Do you think he's got a shot at winning?
I really do. I do. I think we have a shot at winning. I told you in the seat.
What kind of shot?
Well, I told you in the seat a month ago we needed Curtis Sewa to drop. That didn't happen. So I think if Curtis Sewa dropped, I think it would have been a guarantee Cuomo would have won. I really believe that from the bottom of my heart. If you look at the polling, the thing we have to do right now is this tightrope. You have to get Republicans to vote against the Republican and cross the aisle and vote for Cuomo. But if that can happen today, if you're a Republican watching this right now and you were in New York, Republicans have never had this much power in the Big Apple. They just haven't.
What did you do for him on social media?
We did a series of, I think, 10 or 11 videos or so over the course of just 3 weeks. And we garnered over 50 million views on social media. So, you know, I've been talking to you all summer about it. This was a battle of social media. And the biggest takeaway, win or lose tonight, people need to accept. Social media is media now. And, you know, I tried going to a lot of super PACs early in the summer to try to figure out how we could be making a lot of these anti-Mamdani videos to get the word out early. And there was so much old school thinking. It was a lot of, you know, no offense, but a lot of people in their 60s, 70s saying, is social media really that important? You know, radio, I mean, we are past that. It's just that's in the rearview mirror. This is the new political arena, and you have to fight fire with fire. And, you know, I'll give Mamdani credit. I don't think he's a genius with social media, but he's young enough where him and his team understand that that is how you reach voters. And, you know, I think we've done a fantastic job. And you saw the polls dramatically tighten right as our videos started coming out. We started actually pumping the internet with facts.
Dramatically tighten?
Did you not see? Cuomo's only down by 4 points in some polls right now.
Some polls.
Yeah.
Some polls. He's got a shot. I'm not delusional, but he's totally got a shot tonight.
You think Cuomo's got a 20% shot of winning, right?
I did tell you that off camera. I do. I do believe that. I do believe that. Yeah.
Was I not supposed to repeat that?
No, I do. I think he really has a shot at winning. And listen, my dog, you know, one time he got a surgery, they said he had a 10% shot at living. He won. People beat these odds. I think no one thought Donald Trump could win in 2016. You probably would have given him a 20.
I mean, we're saying that all the polls, they've been wrong before.
Polls are wrong, and here's the thing. Polls go back, and they predict from previous polls this electorate might be totally different than we saw.
Murphy wants to come into this.
I still think Cuomo can pull this out. I think people are realizing that what Mamdani stands for, and I think Zach's videos helped a lot, and social media helped a lot, but I think he can pull it out.
I've been heavily criticized because for the last couple of months I've been saying Mamdani will win. He can't lose. And I'm still saying that. Did I encourage voters?
It's your fault if Mamdani wins.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. There's a leading rabbi in New York City.
And she's very liberal, and she's come out against him.
She is. Mm-hmm. And she says Mamdani is helping make anti-Semitism go mainstream. Quick bite. Watch this.
Mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani has contributed to a mainstreaming of some of the most abhorrent anti-Semitism. His false claims of genocide, his reluctance to label Hamas a terrorist organization, his unwillingness to condemn phrases like globalize the Intifada and absolute opposition to Israel as a Jewish state contributes to an atmosphere of denigration and ostracization of Jewish people everywhere.
If Mamdani wins, I'm not saying whether he will or will not.
You've only been saying that for months.
How can he make amends with New York's Jewish population?
Yeah, here's how I see it. First of all, she said it perfectly. Mainstreaming anti-Semitism. This is someone who built his entire political career off hating Jews, hating Israel, demonizing the one Jewish state, claiming it's an ethno-state while having nothing to say about any of the 57 Arab and Muslim ethno-states. So he really is an anti-Semite, plain and simple. But, you know, listen, I'm a moderate guy. I'm an independent. I will speak with anyone, you know, on any side of the aisle. So I hope Zohran has heard the outcries from the Jewish community in this election. And, you know, I'm happy to speak with him. And I know there are other pro-Israel, pro-Zionists who would speak with him. He's never been to Israel. Someone needs to send Mamdani on birthright so we can see there's no apartheid, there's no genocide. That's what we need.
Out of time. I trust you've cast your vote. Sage, thanks for joining us.